Welcome to Scaling Your Healthy Food Product podcast, where we believe the process of scaling better for you product doesn't have to be lonely, hard, or complicated, but following simple steps to prepare your product to scale correctly will set you up to succeed. If that is you, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Jacinta. Let's get started, everybody. This week's episode is the inspiration you need to continue and keep growing your food business. It doesn't matter the roadblocks you've experienced or you've encountered, or the no's that you have received, or the different challenges that you have experienced, but the fact that you keep going and the fact that you have the drive to keep going with your business and the vision that you have for your business. Some of us want to see that product on the store shelves, and some of us, you're starting out and you just want to see it in a farmer's market selling, and some of you have gone big, and the next big thing is for you to sell your product at Costco. You're like in the final stages, you're finalizing everything. So regardless of which stage you are in your business, we do need this, because sometimes we can forget that we're not alone, or we think that we are alone in this, but really you're not alone. Think about your product. Let's say you have a product. I'm in the gluten-free field. I work with a lot of gluten-free developers and food businesses. And think about it this way: you have a gluten-free product, if that's who you are, and think about why you started this in the first place. Some of us, or at least some of the businesses that I've worked with that I know, they started with their kid had been diagnosed with gluten. They were intolerant and they just couldn't put anything down. And they worked so hard. This is a mom that worked so hard to get a gluten-free product that their kid will be able to eat and not have to have challenges. And in the end, you found out, you went to your child's soccer team, and somebody told you the same thing. They've been having challenges, especially when it comes to school lunches and all those challenges that you could go through as a parent. And that's where the idea came in. And you started, you might even have started like sending your products to soccer and trying them out with like your soccer team. And regardless of where you started, regardless of where you tested your product and got your aha moment and got the business idea, you did that. And now you're on the other side. Or maybe on some of us, you're still on the other side. You're still finalizing your idea. You're still working on your idea. You have a product, or you're in the stage of developing your product. It doesn't really matter where you are, but all I want to say is wherever you are, you just have to look at the next step. What is the next step for you to keep going? Don't look at all the 20 steps ahead of you, or all the 30 steps that you have stepped over or you've left behind you. Look at the next step that you have to do. If the next step that you have to do is working on your label for your product, then that's what you focus on. You focus on your label, you work on the label. Once you finish, you go to the next one. Because I know how it is. Like, you could get to that point where you're like, I need to do 200 and things at the same time, and you start one and you stop and you remember, oh yeah, I need to do this, and you remember another thing and you remember another thing, and before you know it, the day is over and you haven't done anything. So focus on one thing. This is the inspiration that I have for you. This week. I want you to focus on the one thing that you want to do this week to be able to go to the next level, to push your product to the next level. If it's speaking to a farmer's market person, and if you need to contact them, send a few emails. If you need to call them, if you schedule a meeting, do that. That is your next step that you need to keep going. Because the more we do this, the more on the other side, we're going to get our product to where we want it to be. And you know what? I'm here and I'm cheering you on, because I know you can do this, and I know that we can do this together. Remember, my mission is to see many healthy food products on the food shelves. I want to be able to walk around the stores and see so many healthy food products that we have choices that our kids can have as choices to be able to eat and put all those goodness in our bodies that will in the end prevent us from diseases, because that's what we want. We want a healthier generation. We want the next generation that is coming to be in their best shape. And how do we start that? Wherever you can do, then do that. For me, I'm here to help you to get your product to the next level. So we can do this. But I need you to focus on the next thing that you need to focus on to be able to get to the next step. You know, you have 20 steps, you have 15 steps, you might even have 2 steps left. But before you can get to the next step, you need to finish what you have in front of you. Whatever you need to do to remind you of what you have at stake, let's do that. If it's the freedom that you're seeking, then look at that. If it's the satisfaction that you're looking for, then think about that. If it's your family member being proud of you, or you feeling accomplished, having put the product that they encourage you to work on to be able to sell it and see it in the retail store, put it on a post-it note, stick it on your fridge, stick it on your mirror. Whatever you need to do to get you moving to the next step, that's what I want you to focus on this week and for the next week. Because when we take those steps, one step at a time, we're going to keep moving, we're going to keep turning, and we're going to keep having those ideas, because the more you do something, the more you get clarity on what you need to do. It's not when you noodle over it that the clarity will come. No, the clarity will come once you continue to work on it and continue to do something. Something will pop up. You will get your aha moment, and you will get the fire that you need to be able to get you to the next level. And there we go. We have our product. So imagine, this is what I want to leave you with. Imagine you walk in a store, your retail store that you go to so often, and you walk in the aisle, and just a few steps, you see your product. How are you going to feel? What is the feeling that you're going to feel at that moment? What are you going to feel? I know you see it, and I know you feel it. So what is it? What is it? Is it the tap in the back? Are you going to have the kind of moment, like screaming kind of moment? Are you going to be taking a selfie with the product? Are you going to be holding it and pointing at it? What are you going to be doing? So think about that. Let that be inspiration for you to move to the next level. And now sit down if you can, if you are driving or however you're listening to this. Think about, stop on the side of the road. What are the next 3 things that you need to do? But just pick one. You need to do 3, but pick one. What do you need to do to get you moving and to get you growing your food business? Send me a few of those. I want to see what the next step is, just to get you going, and just so that you know you sent it out there and somebody is going to read. All right, so let's do that. Let's focus on the next thing that we need to work on to get going, because you've got this. I know you do. And I know you'll get to the other side. And I'll be here cheering you on. All right. So until next week, let's keep working on building our food business and growing our food product. All right. Visit kamaresearch.com to get yourself the guide to scaling your food business. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss all the tips that are coming your way when they come in. Until next time, keep scaling your business.